Hi everyone, Mike the Neon Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for a review of the new Lana Del Rey album, Norman fucking Rockwell. This is the newest full-length LP from pop starlet Lana Del Rey, aka Elizabeth Grant. I have been covering Lana's music for close to a decade at this point, and over this very lengthy period of time, I feel like I've grown this really weird familiarity with something that I'm not even standing for. No matter how much I listened to Lana's early stuff, I just could not bring myself to enjoy the music of the gangster Nancy Sinatra. Never really got the nostalgic old soul obsession with the culture and aesthetics of mid-century America. Also, the cheap and trendy ways in which Lana would fuse these aesthetics with hip-hop. The washed-out production, the moany singing, the very subpar lyricism. Not to mention all the bad girl narratives that typically resulted in Lana succumbing to the desires of some chud. If that's how you want to live your life, then live it, but don't gaslight me into thinking that it's badass or tragic or even enviable. But that was the old Lana. I think over the years her music has been getting more and more interesting, embracing more tangible, organic instrumentation, portraying herself in a more empowered role in the lyrics of her songs. In my opinion, all of these things have resulted in Lana's last couple of records being her most enjoyable to date, especially Lust for Life, which I actually liked despite the handful of features on this record that did not really complement the album. Absolutely, this thing is not a perfect record. However, it is indicative to my ears of a direction, of an evolution that I hope Lana continues in or would continue in on her new record here. It was exciting to see super producer Jack Antonoff taking part in the songwriting as well as the production on this new record too. He seems to be everywhere these days. And what set my expectations for this record even higher were that pretty much all of the teaser tracks were incredibly good. Mariner's Apartment Complex, one of Lana's best songs ever. Fuck It, I Love You. I love the impassioned vocals that Lana laces into the chorus of this song, as well as The Greatest. I love the grand instrumentation on this track, and the tune is one of the most solid on the record too. I'm still not entirely sold on the lengthy instrumental passage that comes a few minutes after the start of Venice Bitch, which extends the song out to nearly 10 minutes in length, especially once we reach the point where Lana is killing time with these whoa, 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 whatevers, and Jack Antonoff's guitar is clucking like an ugly electric chicken. If you were gonna draw the song out for this long, what you draw it out with should at least be like, you know, really good. Still, the first leg of the track is great, and I'll say that most of this lengthy instrumental passage is pleasant to the ears, but there just are still some eyebrow-raising moments. There's also Lana's cover of Doin' Time, which I didn't think would make it onto this record, but it did, although I shouldn't be surprised it's not her first cover. And as I've said about this track before, it's okay. It's a very faithful rendition of the original, copying over many of that song's fine details. The biggest changes really come in the shape of the more hazy production and pillowy instrumentation. I think I mostly appreciate the song for the way its themes play into Lana's typical style. Summer, California, a lot of rocky relationship bars on this track too, and let's not also forget that Sublime's Bradley Nowell, he checks a lot of those bad boy boxes that have long been a source of inspiration for Lana's music in the past. So yes, I was actually excited to listen to a new Lana Del Rey record, and I anticipated that it was gonna be good, which is amazing, which is fantastic, because listen, as much as it may seem like it's the contrary to some people out there, it's not like I gear up for these reviews thinking, "Mwahaha, yes, another album I can give a negative review to, ah." Okay, what about when you said this? Mwahaha, yes, another album I can give a negative review to, ah. That was me saying that out of context just now. You still said it though. You still said it. Look, I like it when my life is easy. And it's a lot easier when the album that I have to listen to for a review 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 times is likable, is enjoyable. That's very nice. Because who wants to hear an album that's bad over and over and over and over? Ugh. So right from the start, it's very apparent that Norman fucking Rockwell is going to be a very different Lana album. The elegant strings, the bare piano, Lana's first words on the record being, "Goddamn man-child, you fucked me so good I almost said I love you." Calling the dude a man-child, the turn down, the way she takes down this self-absorbed clown throughout the lyrics in the track, that's the tea, sis. I want to die. I want to die now. I can't believe I said that. Also, all of this is attached to one of the best choruses of her entire career. We also have the gorgeous Mariners apartment complex that I complimented earlier, the first whole verse on this track. What? You took my sadness out of context at the Mariners apartment complex. I ain't no candle in the wind. I'm the board, the lightning, the thunder, kind of girl who's gonna make you wonder who you are and who you been. You lose your way, just take my hand, you're lost at sea, then I'll command your boat to me again. Don't look too far, right where you are. That's where I am, I'm your man, I'm your man. I'm sorry, but this is not the sad high schooler poetry that Lana was trying to build her name on in the first leg of her career. This is some romantic, adult type of stuff. This is caring, this is loving, this is concern, this is emotionally evolved. It's at this point on the album, here and with the song Venice Bitch, where the pianos, the artistic indulgence, the poetry, the super sad mood throughout this record, it is reminding me of another album, and that's Father John Misty's Pure Comedy. Now listen, it's a great record. I don't think trying to make an album that is in any way like that record is inherently a bad thing. And I think there are a lot of vast differences between these two albums, politics being the most obvious one. But if Lana were to craft an album that was a pure comedy Del Rey, a record that went as in-depth on the feelings and the issues that drive her to make the art that she makes, this would be it. We have the track Love Song shortly after, where I wish Lana did a bit more vocally to sell this song, but it's still a really good tune, and the lyrics of the song do a great job of conveying this idea of neediness and the tragedy attached to it. All these references to "I'd like you to stick around," "starving to make you proud," talking about love, or basically these shows of affection taking place in the back seat of a car, usually a young lover stereotype. Throughout the lyrics of the song, Lana seems very deeply invested in the potential of this relationship or this connection working out, but she's also throwing us all of these hints that this relationship is clearly not at a very stable point right now. In a way, it's like we're seeing the next chapter of this scenario on the track How to Disappear, where Lana seems to be remembering somebody who's a bit of a fair weather boyfriend. He's here and he's not. He doesn't really stick around all that much. Also someone who seems to be suffering from some very deep emotional problems, kind of dysfunctional, overly aggressive too. And all of this seems to result in disappearance of the person, of the connection, of the romance, of the feeling, of Lana. As in the last verse of the song, she depicts herself being at home in a solitary state, 2 cats, chilling, nobody's going anywhere. She's reached a point of stability just on her own. The track California reads like yet another incredible, loving, caring step in the emotional evolution of Lana Del Rey, where she seems to have an incredible amount of love for this person, but also there's some regret there too, like she wasn't there for them or supportive enough of them when they needed her to be. She is telling this person, "Come back to me, come back to America. When you're here, I'll throw you a party. We'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do the other thing. And when you're in my arms, you don't have to be cooler than you are. You don't have to be tougher or stronger than you are." Because Lana's made the connection in her lyrics that love of a person can be equated to acceptance of that person. It's also worth mentioning that at this point on the album, the lovely and tasteful pianos and strings are keeping up. The vocals are sounding pretty good, very mature, very smoky. The sound across this record generally is pretty captivating. The album does start dishing out some weaker moments here and there though, past this point. We have the Next Best American Record, which is a song that from Lana has been a demo floating around for some time. Now we're hearing it in a final form, and it just sounds like a song that she would have written like 5 or 6 years ago. It's not terrible, but it's not doing a whole lot for me. On Bartender, some of the lyrics take a bit of a quality dip. The poetry inside of me is warm like a gun. Okay. But still, I do like the song's narrative about Lana buying a truck to discreetly travel out, escape the prying eyes of the media, and basically hit up a bar, hit up a bartender where she can, you know, just drink the night away. Cherry Coke, though. Cherry Coke. I think the record ends on a somewhat strong note, though, with happiness is a butterfly, as well as hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have. Happiness is a pretty chilling ballad about the difficulty of obtaining happiness, but the track is also about Lana being caught up in this devastated state. She feels hurt, she's making irrational decisions, nothing matters anymore, she's spiraling downward and crying in the backseat and musing about whether or not this guy she's meeting up with is maybe a serial killer, and if he was, she's already hurt, so that doesn't matter. The closing track here is an understated but powerful finale that I think sums up a lot of the emotions, the personality traits, the flaws that fuel Lana Del Rey's art, her poetry, her music, her storytelling. But what truly ends up making the song a stunner to me is how emotionally Lana sells this track with some spotlit vocals over those bare pianos, really working through the emotions of the song in a way where the listener feels it. I really liked this Lana record. I loved it, actually. It's kind of a long record, though. There are some tracks that I certainly think could have been cut. Doing Time, that Venice Bitch instrumental extension. Cinnamon Girl as a song is just okay. But most of the material on this thing is actually Lana's best stuff. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you should check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Lana Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell, forever.